gather around means and hear the tale of a bear. We join Sudsy as he visits his grandpap's saloon, hoping to get a taste of his famous oak-aged bourbon. "Oh, bother!" said Sudsy, slamming back a shot of whiskey. "Grandpap, that's smoother than my fur after a shower. If you ever tire of making soap, Sudsy, come make some bourbon with me and learn the old family recipe," said Grandpap. "Perhaps one day, but the world needs its bricks." They were interrupted by ghoulish laughter and turned to see three rowdy men gathered around the pool table cursing. Well, men wouldn't exactly be an accurate term. They were 3-in-1s. "You're cheating, Axe. I oughta—" "Why don't you pipe down, bub?" said Sudsy. "Oh, what are you gonna do, little bear?" said the fiend, his voice devoid of testosterone. "Little bear, I'll—" "Sudsy, don't," interrupted Grandpap, urging Sudsy to walk away. "Yeah, that's what I thought," said the 3-in-1, his goons laughing behind him. Returning to the bar, Sudsy questioned, "Why do you allow their kind in here, Grandpap? They shouldn't be anywhere near the 100-acre shower. This saloon's open to all folk, Sudsy, no matter who." "That's funny, Grandpap," said Sudsy, sipping on bourbon. "Those aren't folk over there. They're monsters." "Hey, where you going, hot stuff?" "Perhaps you're right, Sudsy. I've become too lenient. Seeing you reminds me of the young bear I once was. And I remember something," said Grandpap as he trailed off, pouring another glass of whiskey. "What is it, Grandpap?" asked Sudsy. "Well, my grandpappy told my pappy back in my day, son, a man's gotta answer for the wicked that he done. Those fellows over there may not be men no more, but they are wicked. Alas, I ain't got the strength these days to kick 'em out." "Oh, but I do," said Sudsy. "You make whiskey, Grandpap. I make soap. Let me show you my recipe. Give me a bottle of your finest, please." And so Sudsy got to work on a new brick with his Grandpap's famous oak-aged bourbon. It can leave even the most vile man feeling clean. With his new brick in hand, Sudsy confronted the trio of 3-in-1s. "Oh, look who it is, boys. Little bear got something to say?" said the leader, unsheathing a bottle of body wash, as his backups broke their pool sticks in half. "Yeah, I do," said Sudsy. "It's time to clean up your act." Sudsy lunged at the gang, fighting and scrubbing away at the enemy. The battle was hard fought, but in the end, all that was left of the 3-in-1s was piles of goop. Their vile ways all but washed away. "Who's little now?" "Sudsy, you did it, my boy. You showed those Oh no. What is it, Grandpap?" "Your arm, Sudsy. It's been infected." He looked down to see his fur mangled with body wash. "Oh, bother." "Yeah, man! Welcome to the Frickcast and to the Sudsy Bear Soap Guides. Today, we're taking a shot of the Grandpap's oak-aged bourbon. This is a newer release offered by Sudsy Bear with real Kentucky bourbon and a medium grit. It's a smooth bar with some heat. So let's get into this oak-aged brick. As for the unique ingredients, perhaps the one that stands out the most is the aforementioned Kentucky bourbon. Bourbon is mainly known for its ability to reduce inflammation, aside from drinking that is. It helps soothe and relieve skin. There's also Jimmy Red cornmeal for the grit. Now this may sound familiar to anyone who's used Dr. Squatch's Wood Barrel Bourbon, as it also contains this exfoliating ingredient. In fact, this brick in general seems to be the Sudsy version of that bar, as it's probably the most similar that you'll find. Now in the case of the oak-aged bourbon, we're talking a medium grit. This will help the bar clear away dead skin and impurities, allowing for a deeper clean. Avocado butter is a very nifty ingredient. It's full of vitamin E, is deeply moisturizing and rejuvenating, as well as has some anti-aging benefits. And the last ingredient for today is buckthorn extract. This is another one that soothes and moisturizes dry skin, as well as has some anti-aging and anti-inflammatory properties. Overall, we have a brick that looks to do a bit of everything. It's mostly a soothing and rejuvenating bar that'll have your skin looking through whiskey glasses. As for the scent, I'd like to start by saying this is one I like. It is in a similar vein to Dr. Squatch's Wood Barrel Bourbon, but also quite different. I think the best way to describe it is as a sweet, oaky scent. There is something of a bourbon cologne undertone to it, with a very slight touch of spice. But to me, it's the oak and the sweetness that really stand out. The oak is very pleasant and airy, while the sweetness isn't overly intense. It's more so something subtle like honey, rather than something extreme. It kind of reminds me of something like a brownie, almost with a hint of chocolate, but not disgustingly so, as it's very airy and light. In fact, I find everything here to be pleasant and subtle overall. The potency isn't weak or faint, but it is light. It's not at all an intense or bold smell. I find the subtle scent, though, does work well here. It's a flavorful taste that goes down smooth with a light finish. The bar continues to be very unoffensive when it comes to the clean. There isn't a whole lot of grit here. I find the bar to mostly be a smooth one. However, the chunks of grit that are here, namely the red cornmeal, are quite large and sharp, enough to bring it somewhere between a light and medium grit, but they aren't super abundant and aren't overly rough. Personally, I prefer a more consistent grit in bars, rather than random chunks every now and then, that I find don't exfoliate as well. But I don't think that minor nitpick really holds this brick back. As for the rest of the wash, it's pretty standard sudsy stuff. It's good. There are more deep cleaning and moisturizing bricks on the menu, but this boy will get the job done without drying your skin out. It feels restorative and soothing. It's just very easygoing and laid back, like a kid after sneaking some bourbon from Grandpa's stash. As for my thoughts, I like the GRANDPAP'S oak-aged bourbon more than I thought I would at first. I think it's chill, relaxing, and enjoyable to use, but not exactly one of Sudsy's best creations. I think Rather Nifty is a fair spot for now, between the barbershop and Twisted Mango, meaning that I think it's a pretty damn good bar overall. The lighter, oaky scent is one that may have trouble standing out from its peers, but it's pleasant and makes for a nice smelling brick. The clean is again more of the same from Sudsy, so no complaints. The grit is a little bit more on the lighter side of medium, but enough to add some bite to this otherwise smooth bar. Again, it doesn't really do a whole lot to stand out, but it still manages to be very enjoyable to use, and therefore one that leaves a lasting, positive impression. That's only my opinion though, and I'd love to hear what you think of this oak-aged brick. With the help of his GRANDPAP'S tasty bourbon, Sudsy was able to save the saloon. But at what cost? Stay tuned to find out what happens next.